Pain is a signal, not weakness. It's not just something you push through every single day without thinking. It's your body screaming, trying to tell you something's not right. But what do most people do? They silence it. They numb it. They bury it under distractions, under pride, under the illusion of strength. You wake up with that same dull ache in your side, or that sharp stab in your back every time you breathe deep, and you tell yourself, "I'm just getting older," or "it'll go away." No, that's not toughness. That's ignorance wrapped in denial. There's a difference between pushing through pain in a workout and ignoring a pain that keeps showing up, uninvited, day after day. Real strength isn't about pretending you're unbreakable. It's about knowing when something's off and having the guts to face it head on. You think being tough means staying silent when your body is throwing warning signs. That's not toughness. That's a shortcut to disaster. You weren't put on this earth to ignore your own survival instincts. Persistent pain, especially the kind that doesn't come from a clear injury or overuse, is your body trying to warn you. It could be inflammation, internal pressure, or worse, something growing inside you that doesn't belong there. Cancer doesn't always announce itself with drama. Sometimes it whispers, and if you're not listening, you'll miss it until it's too late. Don't confuse endurance with ignorance. Endurance is when you know the source of pain and you manage it with intelligence. Ignorance is when you pretend that unknown pain doesn't matter. If you've got pain that's lasted for weeks, that's waking you up at night, that changes how you move, eat, sleep, don't brush it off. Get it checked. Not because you're weak, but because you're smart. Because you have a life worth protecting. Because you owe it to yourself and to the people who care about you to stop acting like you're invincible. People fear what they don't understand, and sometimes facing the unknown is more terrifying than the pain itself. But guess what? Cowards run. Warriors face it. You might be scared of what the doctor will say, but you should be more scared of staying silent and doing nothing. Cancer thrives in silence. It feeds off your fear. You want to be strong? Take action. Real courage is walking into that clinic and demanding answers. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. Pain is not weakness. Pain is a signal. Listen to it. Respond to it. Respect it. Your life may depend on it. You wake up and you're already tired. Not the kind of tired that goes away after a cup of coffee or a good night's sleep. The kind that lives in your bones. The kind of fatigue that makes every step feel like you're dragging a mountain behind you. And you brush it off. You tell yourself it's stress, age, work, maybe a bad week. But it's not. It's day after day, week after week. And no matter how much you rest, it doesn't go away. That's not just being tired. That's your body waving a red flag, and you're too distracted, too proud, or too scared to look up and see it. Chronic fatigue is not normal. It's not just getting older or pushing through. When your energy disappears and never comes back, it means something inside you is draining your power, something that's feeding on you without permission. Cancer does that. It doesn't just show up as a lump or pain. Sometimes it shows up as exhaustion that makes no sense. It hijacks your strength quietly. It turns simple tasks into struggles. It makes you feel like a shell of the person you used to be. But because there's no visible injury, you chalk it up to life. You think, maybe I'm just lazy. Maybe I'm just burned out. No, you're not lazy. Your body is trying to survive, and you're ignoring the fight happening inside you. There's nothing heroic about pushing through unexplained fatigue. That's not discipline. That's denial. Discipline is paying attention. Discipline is being honest with yourself when something feels wrong. You don't wait until you collapse to take action. You don't wait until someone else tells you to move. You move because deep down you know this isn't right. You know this isn't who you were a year ago, 5 years ago. You know your body, and right now it's trying to tell you something. People are scared to speak up when they're constantly tired. They're afraid someone will call them soft. But let me tell you, what's soft is ignoring your instincts and letting fear call the shots. What's strong is standing up and saying, "This isn't normal and I need answers." If you feel exhausted every day for no good reason, and especially if you're also losing weight, feeling pain, or noticing other changes, don't wait. Fatigue like that doesn't lie. It doesn't show up for fun. It shows up when something serious is happening under the surface. Get checked, not because you're weak, but because you respect your life enough to protect it. Cancer isn't always loud. Sometimes it steals your fire quietly. If you feel that your fire's gone out, don't just light another candle and pretend everything's fine. Go find out who or what snuffed it out and do it now. You didn't change your diet, you're not working out more, you're not fasting, but the scale keeps dropping. Your clothes feel looser. People are saying, "Wow, you've lost weight." And you smile, pretending it's a good thing. But deep down, something feels off. You're not celebrating because you know you didn't earn that loss. You didn't fight for it. It just happened. And that's the problem. Unexplained weight. Loss isn't a gift. It's a warning. Your body doesn't just shed pounds for fun. It takes energy to survive. And if it starts throwing that energy away without you asking it to, something bigger is going on. This isn't a fitness journey. It's a silent threat. Something inside you might be feeding off your system, taking your nutrients, your strength, and your life force one day at a time. Cancer does that. It doesn't knock politely. It invades and steals quietly, efficiently, and without mercy. And while you're busy being proud of the number going down, it's digging in deeper. Weight loss should come from work, discipline, effort, movement, and focus, not from sickness, not from the body trying to defend itself from something it can't fight. If you're not trying to lose weight and the pounds are still falling off, that's not success. That's a symptom. And the longer you ignore it, the more damage it can do. It might be your digestive system breaking down. It might be your metabolism reacting to a tumor. It might be your body burning more calories than it should, trying to fight something invisible. You don't get bonus points for pretending it's nothing. You don't get stronger by staying silent. You have to be honest with yourself. You know your body better than anyone else. And when it starts doing things, without your permission, losing weight, getting weaker, falling behind, you don't chalk it up to chance. You investigate. You go to war for answers. That's what strong people do. They don't run from hard truths. They don't avoid the mirror. They face it head on, because they know survival doesn't come from pretending everything's fine. It comes from catching the problem before it owns you. Let people talk. Let them say, "Wow, you look great. You know the truth." If you're not fueling change and it's still happening, something's wrong. Don't wait for more symptoms to pile up. Don't wait for pain, for bleeding, for fatigue so deep you can't move. This one sign, this unexpected drop in weight, could be the only clue you get, and if you ignore it, you might not get another. There's no glory in delay, there's no honor in denial. If the weight is coming off and you didn't ask it to, that's not a transformation. It's a threat. Get checked, get answers, get serious. Because sometimes what looks like progress is actually a warning, and you better be ready to listen. You get a cough and you think it's just the weather, a sore that won't heal. Maybe you scratched it in your sleep. Your stomach acts up for weeks, and you blame it on what you ate. We all do it. We explain things away because the truth might be too heavy to face. But here's the hard reality. When something in your body changes and refuses to go back to normal, it's not a coincidence. It's a message. And the longer you ignore it, the louder the consequences get. Your body doesn't lie. A persistent cough that lingers for weeks or gets worse over time isn't just a little cold. It could be your lungs trying to clear something they can't handle. A sore that refuses to heal isn't just skin deep. It could be your immune system failing to win a fight that's bigger than you think. Digestive problems that don't go away with better food or medication. That could be your gut screaming that something is wrong at the core. When symptoms hang around long enough to become part of your routine, you stop noticing them. And that's the trap. Cancer doesn't always shout. Sometimes it waits quietly while you make excuses. Real strength isn't in brushing it off. It's in paying attention. If something's different and that difference doesn't go away, especially after weeks or months, that's not something you ignore. That's something you attack. Don't sit around waiting for things to get worse. Don't wait until your body is begging you to move. Take action while you still have the upper hand. You don't need to panic, but you do need to move with purpose, with urgency, with fire, because time is everything when it comes to cancer. The sooner you catch it, the better your chances are of beating it. Stop calling it just a cough. Stop calling it just stress or just age. That kind of thinking puts people in graves. You weren't built to guess. You were built to survive. And survival means being aware, being honest, and being proactive. Every time you feel something off and pretend it's nothing, you're making a choice. You're gambling with the one body you've got, and the odds don't care how tough you think you are. Listen, there is no weakness in going to the doctor. There is no shame in saying, something feels wrong. The shame is in knowing something. Feels off and doing nothing. That's not courage, that's fear wearing a mask. Courage is saying, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to find out before it's too late. Changes that last aren't just quirks, they're clues. And if you've got the guts to face them, you might just save your own life. Don't wait for a breakdown. Don't wait for a crisis. Catch the signs before they become something you can't ignore. That's what warriors do. You wake up and notice a little blood where there shouldn't be. Maybe it's in your stool. Maybe it's in your urine. Maybe it's from your nose or gums. Maybe you've started bruising too easily, even without bumping into anything. And what do? You shrug it off, you wipe it away. You say, it's probably nothing, and move on with your day. But that moment, the one you ignore, could be the moment that saves or costs your life. Your body is telling you something. And if you don't listen, no one else will. Unexplained bleeding or bruising isn't just a random event. It's not just something that happens with age. Sure, sometimes there are harmless reasons. But when it starts showing up repeatedly, when it doesn't heal, when it doesn't make sense, that's when you pay attention. Because one of the ways cancer shows itself is through internal chaos. It disrupts the systems that are supposed to keep you in balance. It messes with your blood, your immune system, your organs. And when something inside starts bleeding, it's a sign that the order is breaking down. Bruising without impact? That could be your blood not clotting properly because something, like leukemia, is affecting your bone marrow. Blood in your stool? It could be a sign of colon cancer. Blood in your urine? It could point to bladder or kidney cancer. And these aren't guesses. These are real red flags that people ignore every single day because they don't want to deal with the possibility of something serious. But guess what? Denial doesn't stop reality. It just gives it more time to grow. Stop acting like noticing something is weakness. It's the opposite. Awareness is power. You weren't built to walk blindly through life. You were built to survive. And survival takes effort. It takes discipline. It takes the willingness to face what's uncomfortable before it becomes unfixable. If you're bleeding or bruising and you don't know why, don't wait. Don't wait for it to get worse. Don't wait for a second sign. Don't wait until it's too late to do anything but hope. Most people don't die because the disease was too strong. They die because they waited too long. You want to be strong? Then don't wait. Get checked. Not tomorrow. Not when it's convenient. Now. Take control. Make the call. Book the appointment. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you smart. It makes you dangerous to the disease that's trying to take you out quietly. There's no prize for being silent. No reward for being stubborn. If something is bleeding, if something's showing up on your body without a clear reason, act on it. This isn't panic, it's preparation, it's readiness, it's war. And if cancer's going to come for you, it better know it picked a fighter, not a bystander. Stay alert. Stay aware. And when the signs show up, don't flinch. Strike back with action. This isn't about fear. This is about facing the truth, like a warrior. Pain that won't go away. Fatigue that drains your soul. Weight loss you didn't fight for. Changes that linger and don't make sense. Bleeding or bruising without a cause. These are not random. These are not to be brushed off, covered up, or delayed. These are warning shots, fired by your own body, begging you to act before it's too late. You don't get stronger by ignoring danger. You get stronger by meeting it head on. You don't wait until the storm hits to build the shelter. You do it now, while you still have time, while you still have control. That's not weakness. That's intelligence. That's survival. Cancer doesn't care how tough you talk or how brave you act in public. It thrives in silence, in delay, in denial. But you can beat it at its own game. By paying attention, by moving fast, and by refusing to be passive. This is your life. This is your fight. And every second you wait could be the second that matters most. So if even one of these symptoms is showing up in your life, don't sit still. Don't wait and see. Get up, get checked, get answers. That's how you win. That's how you stay in the fight. And that's how you make sure cancer doesn't get the first move. You do.